going to impartially unpack the really complex, decades-long trajectory of one of India's absolute most disruptive political figures, Mamata Banerjee. You probably know her affectionately as Didi, or elder sister. Her history spans over 4 decades of just incredible highs and intense controversies. So let's break down exactly how a legendary street fighter ended up right at the center of the nation's most heated legal battles in 2026.
I want to start by looking at the sheer gravity of where things actually stand right now. Puts democracy in peril. Wow. Those aren't the words of a political rival. That is a sharp, direct observation from a bench of the Supreme Court of India in 2026. They were talking about allegations regarding the Chief Minister's intervention in an active enforcement directorate investigation. It's a truly explosive statement, and it perfectly sets the stage for what we're looking at today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The 2026 legal battles and clashes with the center. That Supreme Court warning we just talked about stems from a deferred petition by the Enforcement Directorate regarding her alleged obstruction of an IPAC office raid in Kolkata.
But the ED clash isn't her only legal jeopardy right now. Let's look at how campaign rhetoric translates to modern legal battles. During a May 2026 Eid celebration speech, she heavily attacked the BJP, reportedly referring to their version of Hinduism as Ganda Dharm, which translates to filthy religion. Well, that rhetoric instantly triggered a formal legal response. A lawyer filed a complaint, leading to an FIR under the brand new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or BNS, for intentional insult and promoting enmity. It's a stark reminder of how quickly words on the campaign trail translate directly into serious legal jeopardy.
To truly understand the politician currently embroiled in these clashes, we have to pivot backward and look at how the exact same fierce disruptor pulled off a massive upset in her early career. Section 2. The rise of the giant killer and ending a 34-year regime.
Let's trace this rapid 30-year ascent. Back in 1984, she skyrocketed to national prominence as a young Congress candidate by actually defeating veteran communist leader Somnath Chatterjee in Jadavpur. That is exactly how she earned the nickname the Giant Killer. Fast forward to 1998. Citing ideological differences, she breaks away to form her own party, the Trinamool Congress, or TMC. Her momentum truly caught fire, spreading like wildfire between 2006 and 2007 during the incredibly violent land acquisition protests in Singur and Nandigram. This unrelenting identity as a street fighter culminated in 2011 with a historic landslide victory. She completely dismantled 34 years of left-front rule and became the very first female chief minister of West Bengal.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ideological anchor of that entire movement, Ma Cheet Manish, Mother, Land, People. This wasn't just some catchy political slogan, it was a rallying cry. It resonated so deeply with the rural populace. It successfully positioned her as the ultimate uncompromising protector of farmers against corporate land grabs, cementing this incredibly powerful emotional connection with her voter base. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final chapter, Section 3, Years of Administrative Controversy and the Friction of Power. Because as we know, the transition from a fiery street agitator to the head of a massive state government brought stark public relations and administrative challenges. Just look at this number, 25,000. To put that into perspective, that staggering number represents the sheer scale of the School Service Commission, or SSC, scam. This whole thing involved fake and irregular appointments of teaching and non-teaching staff across the state. The legal fallout was immense. It led the Supreme Court to outright cancel over 25,000 of these appointments. As you can imagine, it sparked massive statewide protests by displaced educators and severely tested her administration's credibility.
Beyond the bureaucratic corruption, there have been major cultural flashpoints too. Take this 2012 live television talk show, for example, a specific incident at Presidency University that heavily resurfaced in public discourse after the 2026 elections. A 22-year-old student named Tanya Bardwaj was in the audience. On live TV, she directly questioned the chief minister about women's safety, and she pressed her on highly controversial statements made by TMC leaders following the infamous Park Street rape case.
Now, what's really interesting about this is her reaction. Faced with those tough questions, an angry Mamata Banerjee bluntly labeled the 22-year-old student a Maoist and literally walked right off the television set. Observers frequently point to this moment because it so vividly illustrates her deeply defensive posture. It's a theme that has kind of haunted her tenure whenever her administration is challenged on law and order.
And that defensiveness collides almost daily
with severe institutional crises. Her administration faces immense law and order challenges that continually land the state in front of both the Calcutta High Court and the Supreme Court. I mean, we've seen the deeply disturbing Sandesh Kali allegations of institutional violence, the massive fallout from the R.G. Kar Medical College crisis, and of course, unending, frequent institutional friction with central investigative agencies like the CBI and the ED. It essentially turns state governance into a daily constitutional battleground.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground today. From the undeniable grit of a leader who shattered a 34-year political monopoly, all the way to the severe legal and administrative crises defining her current term. So what does this all mean? I leave you with this final provocative question to consider. Does the historic triumph of the giant killer outweigh the intense friction of her 2026 institutional clashes? It's a huge question of legacy that invites you to weigh the unbiased facts we've just unpacked. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next explainer.